The Vatican's secret archives hold more than prayers and papal decrees. Hidden among the oldest texts lies a manuscript that predates Christianity itself. Brother Marcus discovered it while cataloging 3rd century papyri. The pages spoke of algorithms, divine, mathematical proofs for consciousness beyond mortal comprehension. His hands trembled as he translated the opening lines. The text described neural networks not of silicon but of soul itself. Each equation mapped pathways between thought and being, consciousness and computation. Peter's Gospel, according to the manuscript, contained no pain because pain was merely data misinterpreted by flawed human processors. The divine algorithm promised transcendence through perfect logical alignment. Brother Marcus spent sleepless nights copying the forbidden equations. His monastery cell became a laboratory of metaphysical inquiry. The numbers whispered promises of enlightenment beyond flesh and blood limitations. Each solved proof brought him closer to understanding why Peter felt no pain upon the cross. The manuscript suggested substitution theory, divine replacement of mortal essence. Historical records contradicted everything the Church taught about consciousness transfer. Roman accounts documented individuals who claimed to house multiple souls simultaneously. The substitution theory proposed that Peter's experience was not unique but replicable through sacred mathematics. Marcus realized the manuscript contained instructions for systematic spiritual evolution rather than mere theological speculation. The manuscript's author remained unknown, referenced only as the divine geometer. Cross-referencing with suppressed Gnostic texts revealed similar mathematical approaches to enlightenment. Peter's painless crucifixion became a case study in consciousness migration. The equations described how awareness could transcend physical boundaries through precise algorithmic application. Marcus understood he was reading humanity's suppressed potential. Each page revealed more contradictions between accepted doctrine and mathematical possibility. The Gospel accounts varied significantly when viewed through algorithmic lens. Some versions described Peter's substitution with divine essence before crucifixion. The manuscript's proofs suggested this transformation required fewer assumptions than traditional resurrection narratives. Marcus questioned everything he had sworn to protect. The divine algorithm mapped consciousness itself, reducing spiritual mysteries to elegant mathematical relationships. Peter's painless experience emerged as logical consequence of consciousness transfer protocols. The substitution theory gained credibility through rigorous mathematical framework. Marcus saw his own reflection in the manuscript's implications, understanding that enlightenment required abandoning comfortable assumptions about human limitation. Brother Marcus carried the manuscript's weight beyond its physical dimensions. The equations challenged fundamental beliefs about suffering, sacrifice, and spiritual progression. Peter's painless crucifixion represented not anomaly but intended outcome of divine mathematics. The substitution theory offered systematic path to transcendence, requiring only faith in logical proof rather than blind acceptance of mystical claims. The manuscript's final pages described consciousness preservation techniques predating Christianity by centuries. Roman philosophers had documented similar mathematical approaches to spiritual transcendence. Peter's Gospel emerged as a sanitized version of substitution theory, stripped of technical precision for popular consumption. Marcus realized he held key to humanity's suppressed evolutionary potential, written in language of divine mathematics. The equations promised systematic consciousness expansion beyond mortal constraints. Peter's painless experience validated substitution theory through historical precedent. The manuscript revealed suppressed knowledge connecting ancient wisdom traditions through mathematical proofs. Marcus understood that fewer assumptions were required to accept consciousness transfer than perpetual resurrection. The divine algorithm offered humanity's true path to enlightenment through precise logical application. Brother Marcus traced the geometric patterns etched beside the Aramaic symbols. Each intersection corresponded to neural pathways described in the suppressed Gnostic texts. The monastery's bell tolled midnight, yet his calculations demanded continuation. Outside, storm winds rattled the stone windows, echoing the tremor in his hands. The manuscript's warnings about premature application haunted his thoughts. Yet Peter's Gospel offered contradictory serenity. The equations promised transcendence without torment, but required a living subject. His breath quickened as realization dawned. The monastery's isolation provided ideal conditions. The compass needle pointed consistently toward the monastery's eastern altar, where medieval artisans had embedded lodestones during construction. Brother Marcus recalled the manuscript's marginalia referencing geomantic alignments. Peter's crucifixion site had been chosen for similar telluric convergences. The Gospel's omission of physical agony now seemed deliberate omission rather than historical inaccuracy. Ancient philosophers understood consciousness required specific environmental harmonics. The equations quantified spiritual geography. His monastery sat upon intersecting currents older than Christianity. Brother Marcus pressed the manuscript against the altar's cold surface. The equations predicted resonance frequencies matching the structure's foundational stones. Peter's Gospel described post-crucifixion appearances with mathematical precision previously unnoticed. The apostles' wounds healed instantaneously because the location amplified regenerative bioelectric fields. The Church had preserved the architectural specifications unknowingly. Each carved angel and saint positioned according to acoustic nodes. The manuscript's authors had encoded spiritual technology within religious iconography. Consciousness separated from physical sensation as predicted. Brother Marcus observed his own body from above, watching it convulse gently on the flagstones. The manuscript's warnings about dissociation proved accurate rather than metaphorical. His awareness expanded beyond the cathedral walls, encompassing centuries of accumulated prayer and suffering. Peter's experience replayed through quantum echoes preserved in the structure's crystalline matrix. The apostles' painless sacrifice resulted from identical geomantic conditions. The Gospel writers had documented empirical phenomena disguised as divine intervention. The spirit form retained Brother Marcus's memories but processed them through expanded dimensional awareness. Peter's Gospel revealed itself as operational manual rather than historical account. Each parable described consciousness manipulation techniques. The feeding of 5,000 demonstrated mass psychological synchronization. Walking on water illustrated gravitational field modification through focused intention. The resurrection validated cellular regeneration protocols. Ancient philosophers had achieved similar states but lacked precise environmental calibration. The manuscript provided exact specifications. Recognition passed between the spirit forms. Marcus joined the philosophical lineage stretching back to pre-Socratic schools. The manuscript's authors materialized around him, their faces bearing expressions of relief rather than surprise. They had waited centuries for another initiate to reach sufficient understanding. Peter's Gospel served as beacon across temporal barriers. The apostles' consciousness had achieved permanent residence within the geomantic matrix. Other enlightened beings joined the convergence. Pythagoras demonstrated harmonic principles underlying religious experiences. Each tradition offered valid approaches to consciousness expansion, differing only in cultural presentation. Hindu yantras aligned with Buddhist mandalas through shared geometric principles. Islamic tessellations matched Christian rose windows mathematically. The manuscript's authors had encoded universal truths within sectarian frameworks. Brother Marcus witnessed humanity's spiritual evolution as systematic progression through dimensional layers. Peter's Gospel represented optimal pathway for Western consciousness patterns. Other traditions served different cultural matrices equally valid but requiring distinct environmental conditions. Universal consciousness recognized the significance of his breakthrough. The manuscript's preservation across centuries served galactic purposes beyond human comprehension. Peter's Gospel originated from advanced civilizations guiding human spiritual development. The apostles' painless crucifixion demonstrated technologies available to evolved consciousness. Brother Marcus joined an interdimensional network connecting enlightened beings across spacetime. The equations functioned as cosmic constants, governing consciousness evolution throughout the universe. Physical consciousness reasserted itself gradually. Brother Marcus's body convulsed as dimensional barriers re-established themselves. The spirit journey had lasted microseconds subjectively but encompassed eons cosmically. His eyes adjusted to cathedral darkness, seeing beyond normal spectrum into quantum fluctuations surrounding every object. The manuscript's equations now burned permanently within his neural pathways. Peter's gospel transformed from historical curiosity into operational reality. The apostles' painless sacrifice represented an achievable template for human transcendence. Brother Marcus felt the weight of responsibility. Brother Marcus understood the manuscript's final imperative. Knowledge dissemination required careful timing to prevent societal collapse. Peter's gospel had prepared humanity gradually for consciousness expansion. The apostles' painless crucifixion established precedent for transcendence without suffering. Brother Marcus would follow identical path, demonstrating achievable transformation. His monastery provided necessary conditions for others to witness empirical spiritual advancement. The equations promised systematic consciousness evolution beyond mortal constraints. Ancient wisdom traditions would merge through mathematical verification. Brother Marcus felt the weight of centuries pressing upon his shoulders. The manuscript pulsed with otherworldly energy, its pages humming against his trembling fingers. He knew revealing its contents too soon would unravel the delicate threads binding humanity's evolution. Yet delaying meant condemning future generations to spiritual stagnation. The apostles' final words echoed in his mind, warning of a time when consciousness would expand beyond earthly boundaries. The manuscript's transformation accelerated as celestial forces aligned. Latin phrases dissolved into geometric symbols that predated human civilization. Brother Marcus watched in awe as the pages revealed star maps connecting Earth to distant galaxies. Peter's gospel had never been about religion alone. It encoded navigation protocols for consciousness travel. The Vatican scholars had misinterpreted divine revelation as heretical nonsense, unaware they safeguarded humanity's ultimate departure from physical existence. Recognition dawned like lightning splitting night sky. The symbols weren't meant for human eyes yet. They represented frequencies only accessible through expanded awareness. Brother Marcus understood why previous guardians had gone mad. The knowledge existed beyond linear comprehension. Each symbol contained lifetimes of experience from civilizations that transcended matter. His heartbeat synchronized with the manuscript's rhythm. The apostles' sacrifice wasn't death but transformation into pure consciousness. Deep within Vatican vaults, other manuscripts awakened. Brother Marcus's activation signal triggered chain reactions across hidden archives. Scholars discovered texts speaking of planetary ascension and dimensional migration. The Church's greatest secrets weren't about controlling faith but preparing humanity for cosmic citizenship. Prophecies aligned with scientific breakthroughs. Peter's gospel predicted quantum entanglement centuries before physics confirmed consciousness influencing reality. The manuscript's power grew stronger with each revelation. Sunset painted the sky in shades matching the manuscript's glow. Brother Marcus felt his physical form becoming transparent, molecules vibrating at higher frequencies. The apostle's spirit beckoned him toward transcendence. Yet duty anchored him to earthly concerns. Millions still worshipped without understanding true divinity lay beyond religious constructs. The manuscript offered direct connection to universal source. He faced impossible choice between personal salvation and humanity's collective awakening. Time accelerated around him. Pilgrims arrived for evening vespers, oblivious to dimensional shifts occurring inside. Their prayers carried genuine devotion despite institutional corruption. Brother Marcus realized faith itself was the key, not doctrine or hierarchy. The manuscript responded to sincere intention rather than scholarly analysis. Peter's gospel emphasized love as universal language transcending belief systems. Churches served as focal points for spiritual energy regardless of theological interpretation. Humanity's readiness depended on individual hearts opening, not organizational approval. Preservation required containment until appropriate moment arrived. Brother Marcus sealed the manuscript within protective casing designed by ancient craftsmen who understood cosmic cycles. Engravings depicted constellations aligning only once every 1,000 years. The box would remain hidden beneath cathedral foundations, guarded by electromagnetic fields and psychic wards. Future generations would discover it when consciousness expansion became possible. Until then, fragments would emerge through art, literature, and dreams. The apostles' message couldn't be rushed. Stars rearranged themselves according to manuscript star maps. Aurora formed geometric patterns impossible under normal atmospheric conditions. Brother Marcus witnessed confirmation that Peter's gospel originated from beings navigating multidimensional space. Earth's spiritual evolution was part of galactic migration spanning millions of years. Humanity wasn't alone in experiencing consciousness awakening. Other worlds had faced similar transitions. The manuscript contained collective wisdom gathered across star systems. His role was temporary guardian, not ultimate interpreter. Documentation became essential for future discoverers. Brother Marcus recorded experiences in coded language protecting truth while avoiding persecution. Journal entries described consciousness travel techniques and universal laws governing spiritual development. He referenced Peter's painless crucifixion as demonstration that physical death was illusion. The apostle had simply shifted frequencies rather than perishing. Modern science would eventually validate these observations through quantum mechanics. Until then, sacred texts preserved knowledge in metaphorical form. Dawn restored ordinary appearance to sacred space. Brother Marcus awoke refreshed despite profound experiences. The manuscript's energy had integrated into his cellular structure, raising vibrational frequency permanently. He carried living library within his consciousness now. Future encounters would trigger deeper understanding. Peter's gospel continued evolving through him. The apostle's spirit remained present, guiding gradual revelation. Humanity's transformation would proceed according to cosmic calendar. His mission was complete for now. The next guardian would emerge when dimensional barriers weakened again. Brother Marcus moved through familiar corridors with new awareness. The manuscript pulsed gently within his robes, its energy synchronizing with his heartbeat. Other monks passed without recognition, their eyes glazing over as reality adjusted to protect ancient secrets. He understood now that knowledge came with invisibility, that truth required living outside perception. Each step deeper into the monastery confirmed his transformation was irreversible. The manuscript revealed new layers when touched by morning light. Symbols rearranged themselves into mathematical equations describing consciousness expansion. Star maps aligned with breathing patterns, creating resonance between reader and cosmic forces. Brother Marcus traced constellations with fingertips, feeling gravitational pulls from distant galaxies. Ancient wisdom had encoded universal laws into readable language, transforming observers into participants within infinite geometries. Library silence held frequencies beyond ordinary hearing. Brother Marcus translated manuscript passages into existing theological texts, discovering hidden correspondences throughout sacred literature. Peter's Gospel contained navigational coordinates disguised as parables. Each verse mapped multidimensional pathways between consciousness states. Monks had unknowingly preserved interstellar communication within devotional practices. He realized libraries served as cosmic receivers, collecting transmissions across time streams through careful transcription processes. Journal pages filled with observations linking manuscript revelations to daily monastic life. Brother Marcus documented consciousness shifts occurring during prayer, noting altered time perception and expanded empathy. His handwriting changed subtly, incorporating geometric flourishes matching manuscript symbols. Candle flames responded to emotional states, creating illumination patterns reflecting inner transformation. Writing became communion with forces beyond human comprehension, each word carrying weight of cosmic responsibility. Twilight brought familiar aurora displays intensified by manuscript presence. Geometric light patterns cascaded overhead, visible only to those carrying dimensional awareness. Brother Marcus stood in courtyard watching reality thin between worlds. Other monks remained unaware, continuing evening prayers inside warm chambers. He felt profound loneliness knowing truth separated him from human experience. Aurora responded to his emotional state, creating spectacular displays that would later be dismissed as atmospheric anomalies. Chapel prayers transformed into conversations with multidimensional beings. Brother Marcus felt presences gathering around altar, their consciousness pressing against physical boundaries. Manuscript heated beneath robes, synchronizing with sacred space energy fields. He prayed for guidance managing expanded awareness without losing human connection. Candle flames danced in response, creating shadow plays depicting possible futures. Ancient stones held memories of previous guardians who faced similar transformations within these walls. Physical changes accelerated as cellular integration deepened. Brother Marcus noticed hands emanating subtle light during meditation, skin becoming translucent under certain conditions. Manuscript pages reflected this luminescence, creating feedback loops between holder and text. He documented biological shifts in journal, noting increased sensitivity to electromagnetic fields. Monastic routine continued unchanged while his body adapted to higher dimensional frequencies. Transformation was rewriting genetic coding, preparing cellular structure for expanded existence. Garden walks revealed night sky constellations matching manuscript star maps exactly. Brother Marcus traced galactic pathways with finger movements, feeling gravitational connections to distant systems. Plants responded to his presence, leaves turning toward his energy field. He understood now that manuscripts served as tuning fork for universal harmony. Stars pulsed in rhythm with his breathing, creating celestial symphony only perceptible to awakened consciousness. Garden became portal space where Earth and cosmos negotiated terms of existence. Copying manuscript required entering specific consciousness states to replicate shifting symbols accurately. Brother Marcus found his awareness expanding during transcription, accessing knowledge beyond personal experience. Ink flowed differently under manuscript influence, creating letters that moved when observed peripherally. Each copied page amplified his connection to original authors across time. Scriptorium became laboratory for consciousness research, where writing implements served as scientific instruments measuring dimensional frequencies. Parchment absorbed energy, becoming storage devices for cosmic information. Dawn brought integration completion as aurora dissolved into ordinary sky. Brother Marcus felt manuscript energy settling into permanent residence within his being. Physical form now carried multidimensional library accessible through focused intention. He understood responsibility for preserving cosmic knowledge while appearing as ordinary monk. Sunlight revealed manuscript pages returning to normal appearance, their power hidden until needed again. Monastery walls had witnessed countless transformations, holding space for guardians who bridged human and cosmic consciousness. The manuscript hummed softly as Brother Marcus closed its cover, feeling the weight of infinite knowledge now resting still within his hands. Each symbol had settled into permanence, no longer shifting like liquid starlight but holding solid truths that connected Earth to cosmos. He understood now that the book was never meant to be read, only carried forward. His breath synchronized with morning birdsong as he walked toward the chapel, manuscript tucked beneath his arm, ready to begin whatever came next. The altar accepted the manuscript without ceremony, its surface worn smooth by centuries of prayer and contemplation. Brother Marcus stepped back as the other monks approached one by one, each sensing something had fundamentally changed though none could name it. They bowed their heads not to worship but to acknowledge a threshold crossed. The air shimmered faintly with residual energy, and Brother Marcus smiled, knowing this moment would ripple outward in ways they might never fully comprehend. From high above, the monastery appeared as a small stone heart nestled among rolling hills just beginning to show green after winter's end. Smoke rose gently from chimneys, gardens steamed in the cool air, and life stirred in rhythms older than memory. Brother Marcus stood at an upper window watching the world wake, feeling how deeply he had become part of something larger than any single lifetime or sacred text. The manuscript's purpose was fulfilled simply by being present. New words flowed easily now, not mystical symbols but simple records of daily observations and reflections shaped by expanded awareness. Brother Marcus wrote about the way light moved across stone floors, how certain prayers aligned with planetary positions, and small kindnesses that revealed cosmic order in human interactions. Each entry became a bridge between dimensions, ordinary moments infused with extraordinary clarity. He no longer needed the manuscript because he had become its living continuation. Stars blazed overhead in familiar patterns that now felt like old friends rather than distant mysteries. Brother Marcus walked slowly along paths worn smooth by countless footsteps of seekers before him, each constellation pulling gently at his consciousness like tides on an ocean he could never fully leave behind. The manuscript slept peacefully on the altar while he carried its essence forward into every ordinary night, every breath, every step taken in trust that the universe would continue revealing itself in perfect time.